Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you, as well as all of the faithful. And speaking of the faithful, on today's show, just want to answer a lot of your questions after the Niners are 1-0 going into this Week 2 game against the Los Angeles Rams. Mutt Flatulence getting us started with the $10 Super Chat. The haters are out in full force. Do you think that Brock Purdy is legit? Well, a lot of people thought that the Niners were going to lose this game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I said here on the show that I thought the Steelers were going to prove to be a tall test in Week 1. You have them being coached by a guy who always has his team ready to play in Mike Tomlin, and Pittsburgh clearly didn't look ready to play. I talked about Kenny Pickett making that next leap as a passer. He didn't look good in that game, but they do have a really good defense. They have a couple of good weapons. I think this is more so a byproduct of the Niners looking like one of the most talented teams in football as compared to Pittsburgh being awful. So San Francisco was dominant in that game, and they did shut the haters up who thought the Steelers were going to win that game. As for Brock Purdy, the sample size is still a little bit too small for me to say he's a top 10 quarterback in this league, right? But in some of those preseason polls where he's listed 25th to 32nd on some of those lists of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, that's just outright disrespectful. He throws the ball with touch, throws the ball with accuracy. He's a better athlete than a lot of people give him credit for. He has escapability. He has really good juice to his legs where he's actually pretty explosive. He's able to make guys miss. And because of that running ability, he can improvise. He can make plays out of structure. And he can really gut the defense because you think as though you have everything covered up defensively, but he's able to extend a play, make a throw downfield, and you're like, my gosh, all of these weapons, and he's doing that. But even when he has to stay on script, he's running Kyle Shanahan's offense at a really impressive clip. Accurate, anticipation, stronger arm than what a lot of people thought. So far, so good. And now he's 8-0 in games that he has started and finished. And if we can go to that Adam Schefter tweet, this is actually pretty crazy with what Purdy's been able to do in his NFL career up to this point because he's actually making NFL history here. Brock Purdy, first quarterback in NFL history to win each of his first 6 career regular season starts and throw at least 2 touchdown passes in each start. Purdy also is the first quarterback in NFL history with a passer rating of 95 or higher in each of his first 6 career regular season starts. Does he deserve credit for that? Yes. Does Kyle Shanahan, the play caller and play designer, deserve credit? No doubt. Of course, Brock Purdy has weapons, but you also have to execute and you also have to get the ball on time and accurately to your playmakers. John Wallace with the $10 donation. Teams and Patrick Peterson now noticing they better take notice. We're here again, San Francisco, bang, bang, Niner gang. Everybody wanted to salivate over the Miami Dolphins. They couldn't stop a nosebleed Week 1 against the Los Angeles Chargers. Were they impressive? Yes. Did Tua Tagovailoa throw for like 465 yards and did Tyreek Hill go off? No doubt. Let me ask you, though. What happened when the San Francisco 49ers played the same Miami Dolphins team last year? They crushed them. And the Niners were actually down in that game before Brock Purdy replaced Jimmy Garoppolo and led a comeback effort. So if you can't play defense in this league, scoring points and lighting up the scoreboard in September is great. What happens in December, January, and February when the game slows down and the weather gets more inclement? We'll see. That's why I like the Niners all-around team as compared to the one-dimensional Miami Dolphins. Ronnie Steele with the $5 Super Chat. Thank you, sir, for that. We appreciate that. But Ronnie Steele also asked us a question as well that we can include with that Super Chat. Did the Cowboys look any different, even though it was only one game, than last year when we beat them twice? Well, they didn't. The Niners didn't beat the Cowboys twice last year. They beat them in back-to-back years in the NFL playoffs. But, Ronnie, did the Cowboys look any different? Their defense is legit, and they have studs at all 3 levels of that defense. They play fast. They play physical. But we saw the defense play really well against the Niners in the divisional round. But the Niners were able to outlast them. Really what it comes down to, can Dak Prescott win you a big game throwing the football? He missed 3 or 4 games last year with that thumb injury. Still led the league in interceptions thrown. And in a big spot, he's never been able to show up. I like CeeDee Lamb. I like Brandon Cooks. But I like how this Niners defense stacks up against that Cowboys offense. And That's why I give credit to Brock Purdy for playing well against that Cowboys defense, because he started that game rough. Then he made some adjustments and was able to finish that game strong. But the Cowboys, yes, they're legit. I think right now in the NFC, it's Niners 1 after week 1. I know it's early, but what my eyes tell me, and I am entitled to this opinion, Niners number 1, Eagles number 2, Cowboys number 3, Lions number 4. 16 Bar King with another 5 coming in. Do you think that Kyle Shanahan left Christian McCaffrey in a little bit too long? Yeah, I thought it was a little bit risky to be running Christian McCaffrey when you're up 30-7. Take him out of the game and let the backup running backs get some of that work. You know how special he is to your offense. And ever since the Christian McCaffrey trade, this is a Niners offense that's averaged more than 30 points per game. And once again, yesterday, they averaged and scored 30 points per game. So a little bit too long for my liking, no doubt about it. You got to conserve these players for the long haul, but sometimes Shanahan is short-sighted in that. That is my criticism of him in that regard. Tom Daly with another 10. Time for some racks of lamb. Let's go Niner gang. Speaking of that game, I think it's pretty interesting here that the 49ers dominated the Steelers on the road in week 1. The Los Angeles Rams dominated the Seattle Seahawks on the road in week 1. Yet, Vegas and the odds makers clearly are siding with San Francisco, not just by a little bit, in a big way. The Niners are 8-point favorites, more than touchdown favorites on the road against the Rams. So I think the odds makers think that the Rams are going to come back to life and San Francisco might win this game going away. If this line gets down to 6.5, 7, because I think some late money might come in on Los Angeles, you might have to smash the Niners. I love San Francisco right before the game last week at -1. Put a lot of money on that. I was victorious. The over-under set for 44.5. And if you want to wager on this game, there's no better deal out there than what BetUS has to offer, our sportsbook partner here at Chat Sports. Chatsports.com/49bet. Promo code Niners125 for a 125% deposit bonus. You put in $100, you get $125 back, $225 to game with for all of these NFL slates. Lore, what is Trent Williams' injury from yesterday, and how can we clean up the penalties from yesterday's game? You know what's crazy, Lore, about the Niners' penalties? At home, they play clean. On the road, they do get flagged. Spencer Burford had a couple. Trent Williams had some type of core injury, but he returned after missing only one play. So luckily, he is okay heading into this Week 2 game unless something else happens. Johnny Royal really wanted to see Ronnie Bell play on Sunday. He did get some snaps, but when you have Brandon Ayuk going off for more than 100 yards, Deebo Samuel having a good game, George Kittle wasn't even really included all that much. You know, it's really difficult to get a guy like Ronnie Bell in there. I do want to see how many snaps he got against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I could try to pull this up really quickly if I have a good list here, because I did see him in there on a play or two. Let me see here. I'll try to get that a little bit later. Let's see. I could try to look on the fly. I know this serves as bad radio here, but I'm trying to answer the question because you sent that in. Ronnie Bell, 7 snaps against Pittsburgh. So he did play a little bit offensively. My dude, Evan Hinders. Hope all is well, Evan. Niners look the lead on Sunday, but should they call James Robinson or Kareem Hunt? Because besides McCaffrey, the run game wasn't that good. The run game was actually pretty good. You know, the Niners ran for 185 yards. You have McCaffrey in there, and he's going to be your bell cow back. I like the backups on this team, though. Elijah Mitchell is capable, as we've seen when he's healthy. I like Jordan Mason, and I like Ty Davis-Price. I don't think you need to go after a James Robinson or a Kareem Hunt. I think there are reasons why those players are still out there, and I want to see the young players have an opportunity. Colt Bridges, Brock Purdy is the future QB1 of this franchise. Ayuk looked like the true wide receiver 1. Defense picked up right where they left off. LFG beat LA. Type beat LA down in the chat for our guy, Colt Bridges here. For the Niners, look, it's too early to say that Brock Purdy is going to be QB1 in my estimation. I want to see maybe a season and a half. I mean, if San Francisco continues to play at this rate, and they continue to average 30-plus points per game with Purdy as the starting quarterback, that's insane. And you have to start buying in. What my eyes tell me right now, I am so impressed by Purdy, and I think that he's playing excellent football, as I said, to start the show here. Ayuk looked like a true wide receiver one. I was saying that last year. He's the best wide receiver on this team. Debo, more of a weapon. He's not the route runner. Doesn't have the hands. Isn't the true wide receiver that Brandon Ayuk is. He's special. But Ayuk, as a pure wide receiver, really special player. If you hate the Rams, type beat LA down in the chat. Beat LA. Beat LA. I see Kovev, Christian Burton, Johnny Royal, Truth Serum, Tom Daly, all in the chat here. Beat LA. That's the motto this week for the Niners.